Counselor Crittenden, would you please bless us?
I just want to come to you and thank you for this wonderful day of life that you've given us. Thank you for all the friends we have here and doing the work of the Cherokee people. I want to thank you for all things good, Father. It all comes from you, most of all, your Son, Jesus. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Shelley, would you do roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Keith Austin.
Here.
Joshua Sam. Here. Danny Callison. Here. Julia Coates.
Here.
Sean Crittenden. Here. Joe Deere. Mike Dobbins.
Here.
Rex Jordan.
Here.
Johnny Kidwell.
Here.
Darrell Legg.
Here.
Wes Snowfire. Dora Petzkowski.
Here.
Mike Shambaugh.
Here.
Melvina Shotpout. E.O. Smith.
Here.
Condessa Teehee. Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion for approval of the minutes. All right, so we've got a motion and a second for approval of April 28th minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that brings us to reports. Who today is representing Chuck Garrett?
Well, Counselor, it's Chuck Garrett.
Well, that's always good to hear.
Self-representing today. Good to see you, Counselor. And thank you for the opportunity to give a report from PNB for the month of April. As I believe each of you have received the financial report, you'll see that the team has put together yet another excellent financial month for the nation, and both business lines running at full steam with both our gaming and our federal contracting businesses coming in above budget and above prior year on the top line as well as on the bottom line. Other things that are impacting the businesses, of course, we spend a fair amount of time over at CMB pursuing some economic development opportunities for the nation, or the economy of the Cherokee Nation and the citizens of the Cherokee Nation. And what we see currently is a lot of positive growth through various recruitment efforts of corporations either starting their businesses here within the nation in reservations, or relocating or expanding into the nation's reservation. Just a couple of projects that I wanted to highlight, and of course I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Miss Kelly and Diane Kelly's group with Career Services, who always are wonderful to partner with. But the Project Ocean, which is an electric vehicle battery manufacturer, we've been touting in the state of Oklahoma and other stakeholders that we've been working with. The regional Chamber of Commerce are looking to recruit 2,000 to 3,000 jobs with some very significant starting salaries. We think this is an exciting opportunity, in part because it represents a new industry for our regional economy. Also, in addition to Project Ocean, you've seen an electric vehicle manufacturer that has announced a plant at Mid-America. Very exciting. They're pledging to bring approximately 2,000 jobs by 2023. Additionally, Northern Data, which is a German-based tech company, has announced plans to invest approximately $270 million and build its North America operational headquarters at Mid-America. All of these jobs create tremendous opportunity for Cherokee citizens and generally improve the local economy for those business owners that where these employees shop, and it's just generally lifting all of our economic prosperity. So very, very excited about that, and we'll continue to lean in and be representatives of the nation in those efforts. Counselor, I think I'll stop there and be happy, of course, to answer any questions that the council may have.
Does anybody have questions for Chuck today? Yes, Counselor Dobbins?
I guess, Chuck, yesterday was released that Cherokee Federal is going to provide temporary shelter for immigrant children. Can you kind of expand upon that, how many or how long, how that's going to happen?
I'd be happy to, and thanks for the question, Counselor. As I believe council knows, we have developed a real expertise in carrying in these various humanitarian efforts and children in particular, but not just children, a number of other refugees. Well, if you recall last year, we were hired by the federal government to run a intake facility in Pomona, California. So we literally built a small city complete with dormitories and cafeterias and medical facilities, as well as recreational facilities, educational facilities for kids. And we did that in record time. And that was impressive to, I think, the Health and Human Services Secretary Becerra, who gave us many kudos for that. We also, as a result of that, were able to assist the federal government in the and relocation of the Afghan allies as they came into Dulles Airport. And all of this work we're extremely proud of, and of course we feel that not only have we developed some good expertise, but the Cherokee people are uniquely situated and qualified, and certainly understand the trauma and challenges of relocation and being, in effect, a refugee. This particular opportunity, again, with Health and Human Services, once again, with unaccompanied children that are coming up from Central America as well as Mexico and on the border. Some of these children literally arriving with a birth certificate in their hand or a phone number written on their arm. Without adults, and what we're being asked to do is help stabilize them. Each of the children gets sort of full medical diagnostic upon arrival. Stabilization, let's get their nutrition, let's get them clothed, and let's get them stabilized. What this really does over a period of anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks of these children, we do basically a case study and understand better where their ultimate home will be. And so we're facilitating all of that. This is a temporary home for those children, but it is an important home. When you've been traumatized and you've taken literally a walk from Central America to the border, there is a lot of love and care that you need. And that's essentially what we do. We were asked by our customer to look for places in northeast Oklahoma that would be appropriate for children like that. And we found a site just outside of Tulsa, and we're working with local authorities and the zoning and all of that to make certain that we work through the system to arrive at the appropriate facility for these kids. And so it's an honor to be asked to do this. It's work that we can all be proud of.
Okay, thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Wes?
Mr. Garrett, I knew a lot about the work that you guys had did in California. I think it was something I had addressed back whenever I first heard about the contract. It was a concern that maybe it wasn't a necessary business to get into because it didn't affect Cherokee Nation citizens as a whole. We deal with a lot of issues back here. and now seeing that this opportunity that you guys are pursuing is coming to Oklahoma, it's a little bit different viewed on a national level per state. I know that California has a different view than Oklahoma. What does your work and talk have been like and support from the state leaders so far?
Well, the state leaders, to my knowledge, haven't weighed in yet on this opportunity. I'm sure they will, and we have, of course, some very qualified people to engage with them. We're really focused on the kids, to be honest with you. We are focused on doing the work that our customer needs, but also bringing a big heart and a lot of skill to serve these kids that have been through so much. We'll let the politicians sort through the policy, and meanwhile, we'll be very focused on providing good care for these kids.
Just something I had heard about on Wednesday that you guys were pursuing this. Have you talked with any of the other local council members? I see that we don't have Councilor Deere here. What's his acknowledgement of this coming to his area and his district and how it might affect that?
Well, I haven't spoken to Mr. Councilor Deere directly, but I will say that in addition to the good work of caring for these kids, there will be about 2,000 to 2,500 jobs that will be created. So I'm sure Councilor Deere will be pleased by that. And of course, there's all sorts of, purchasing that goes on at a local level. So I anticipate to have a very positive economic impact to not only Councilor Deere's district, but a significant part of the Cherokee Nation.
Well, it's definitely a big issue. It's a big concern of what's going on whenever children are being, trafficked across the border. There's a lot of drugs and there's a lot of problematic issues that go with that. I'm not so certain if that's something we want to bring here right here to Oklahoma without being able to have a certain vetting process of getting involved in that business. It's something I think that the other community leaders in the area, state leaders as well, are definitely mindful and concerning. So if we're going to move forward in this venture, I'd definitely like to know more about it than hearing about it on Twitter and Tulsa World before you're now addressing it as after the fact, after we've heard about it in the media. So would definitely like to have a lot more knowledge up front that it was even being pursued as an idea. There's a big concern that we pursued that in California. It's a major concern pursuing it right here just in our back door of what problematic issues we might be faced with. As we all too are aware of, you might say kids, but some of them may be 16, 17-year-old boys turning into men who've already had an issue of relationship with cartel members and stuff on the other side of the border. So it is a big issue. It's something not to take lightly moving forward with it. And like I said, appreciate your time and bringing it forward now to our attention after the fact, but definitely allowing to give it here. Appreciate it, Chair, for giving me time to speak.
Yes, sir. I have to take exception to trafficking of these kids. These kids we're not trafficking children. So we're taking care of children that are on the border for a variety of reasons. We're providing a stable environment for children that have been traumatized. And I'll tell you, if not us, who? If not here, where?
Definitely not something I was referring to you as being involved in child trafficking. I'm just saying that's the nature of what we're dealing with right now.
Are there others? Yes, Sean?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you, Mr. Garrett, for, looking out for the children first and foremost, but looking out for our customers, has to be in there somewhere. So I appreciate what you're doing. The job and the businesses in your hands has proven to be very effective. So appreciate your heart and your work on this thing. Thank you.
I appreciate that very much.
Are there others? Mr. Goodwill?
Mr. Garrett, thank you for coming in today and explaining everything what's going on. I know I'd read a lot of the reports today about what's happening up there in northern Tulsa area, up in the Joe Deere's district. I will commend you for one thing, and I hope that we all move forward kind of with this in this vein, is that it's important that CNB, our business arm, remain apolitical, meaning they don't get involved in politics one way or another. They're out to try to do the best that they can for their customers and provide that dividend back to the Cherokee Nation as they see fit. And if the government is going to offer up a contract to house people who need it for kids, then I think that is well within CNB's right and responsibility to be pursuing that, regardless of how I feel personally or politically. I'm talking as Counselor Kidwell, that's looking out for the best interests of the Cherokee Nation in general. But I appreciate everything you do, sir, and we just need to remember that regardless how I feel personally, what's best for the Cherokee Nation and for our CNB arms, just remain apolitical and move forward in that vein. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that comment.
Counselor Coates.
Yes, thank you. I want to echo Councilor Kidwell's comment as well. I have been very, very appreciative of the efforts that we've made here in Southern California at the Pomona Convention area here. And I hope that no one thinks that getting kids out of bad situations and hopefully getting them into something where they can do better, at least. It's not an optimum situation, and I don't think anybody believes that. But I don't view that as a political issue. I hope anyone would want to see kids protected and taken care of and hopefully removed from what are potentially extremely dangerous situations otherwise. What I also want to just say about similar efforts that we've gone into here in Southern California is that we have worked, I don't know that we personally have, but the people who are coordinating the whole effort have worked closely with indigenous organizations because a lot of these kids are indigenous children, right? And that is not often acknowledged in a lot of the press attention that is given to this. And both us as a body and the National Congress of American Indians have passed resolutions in support of language usage among these groups along the border, these kids and others along the border, so that their health needs and other needs can be addressed. And so I just see this effort as just consistent with what we've been doing for some time now. And I do think it's something that we can really be very, very proud of. And so I also would object to any reference to trafficking or anything like that. We are caring for these children and have been helping to do that. And we're not saying that everything has been perfect or everything has been ideal, but it is an extremely difficult situation. And our efforts are helping to make it a little less dangerous and a little bit better for these children. And
I really appreciate that perspective and appreciate the comments. Thank you.
Counselor Shambaugh.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with Councilwoman Coates that a lot of these kids are indigenous kids, and if you look back, through history, and especially our history, we weren't treated so well in the not so distant past, and who was there for us? I mean, really, we had each other, and that was it for the longest time until things started to change. So, and you look around the world and see what some horrible things that are going on in the world, and who are taking those people in who no longer have homes, or they've lost their parents, or they've lost their children. And, Cherokee Nation has always been a front runner in Oklahoma. We have been good stewards in Oklahoma, and we continue to do so. And for us to be able to take care of those who can't take care of themselves, Because in even some of our parents' past, that sometimes it was not, you couldn't speak Cherokee at school, and some of them didn't speak English very well, and they were punished for that. So, for us to do this, after everything we've been through, I think it's a wonderful thing that you guys are doing, and to help those that can't help themselves. I just commend you. I just can't say thank you enough. I think you represent our tribe well.
I greatly appreciate that very much.
Counselor Teehee.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon, Mr. Garrett. I just want to kind of echo what Counselor Coates and some of the other counselors have said in regards to this issue. And I do want to remind people that this is a government contract. And when you ask the question, if not us, who? And if not here, where? This is a government contract. These children need humanitarian effort and humanitarian outreach, and that's something that Cherokee Nation is providing. And this takes nothing away from our citizens that are served by our government services whatsoever. It's not a competing interest. This is something that is separate and distinct, and to my knowledge is a government contract. So I commend the work that's being done, the humanitarian, nonpartisan effort that is being undertaken by Cherokee Federal in this undertaking. And thank you for the time, Chair.
Thank you, Council. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Counselor Teehee. I see no other hands, so just in closing, Mr. Garrett, I have invested my time in attending many of your meetings relating where this topic was discussed with the Pomona project and then the Afghanistan project both. And I have been extraordinarily proud of seeing how the leadership team of CNB has recognized this unique opportunity to serve others while bringing value back to the Cherokee Nation. And that's what this does, is it brings value to us. We have, this body receives the profits that we receive from this, because this is a contract. We are doing business. We are getting paid for this. It's not taking resources from us, but it's rather bringing resources to us. And this coming back home actually means that our people will have opportunity to be employed caring for others. And I cannot think of anybody who would have a better sensitivity to what these children are going to than the Cherokee people and the people of our neighboring tribal citizens who may have an opportunity to work there as well. I have watched the men and women who sat on the Cherokee Nation Board of Directors take very personal interest in this project. These are our Cherokee brothers and sisters who serve overseeing our businesses, and I've seen them travel to these locations in California and in the East, both to make sure that the work that we're doing is in keeping with our values. And there's everything about what you're doing is keeping with the values of the Cherokee people. I appreciate the work you're doing here, and I applaud you for it. Thank you.
I appreciate that, and believe me, I will share all of these sentiments with the team, and we take a lot of pride in what we're doing, and we have the reputation of the nation and CMB at heart along the way. So you can be assured that we take this job very seriously.
Was there somebody else that had something to say? Unless there's anything else on a different topic that somebody wants to add, we'll let you go back to doing the good work. All right? Thank you, Chuck.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
Counselor Janice Taylor, the floor is yours. I'm sorry, Treasurer. I fell right back into that eventually, didn't I?
It's all right. I referred to Secretary of Veterans Affairs as deputy the other night, so old habits die hard.
I should just call you friend and
There you go. I am glad to be with you guys today to report again on the good work we're doing in financial resources. You have my report, so if there's any questions about that, I will be happy to entertain those. But I did have a few things I wanted to bring to you. First of all, I want to congratulate Johnny Jack Kidwell for his induction into the Coast Guard Wall of Gallantry. That's a neat thing. We're proud of you. It's awesome to see Cherokees be recognized and let the whole world know what a great job we're doing over here and what quality of people we have. So congratulations. You represent us well. We are extremely busy in financial resources, and if you all have anybody you know that would like to join the thrilling world of financial resources at Cherokee Nation, please encourage them to apply. We have positions that are entry level all the way up to requiring some qualifications. We just, our nation is growing, our treasury is growing, so we do have positions available, and I would encourage you to encourage people you know to apply for those. I also wanted to thank you for answering the poll that Shelley sent out quickly regarding the budgets. We're happy to accommodate whatever form you want those budgets, so I appreciate that. So other than that, that's all I have to bring you. What do you guys have for me?
Are there any questions for Treasurer Taylor? Treasurer Taylor, I actually have a question, or
Okay.
something that it's been a long time since it's been brought up, so I want to bring it up. Every once in a while, I get asked by a constituent that they have something that they would like to donate to the Cherokee Nation. And I know it's not as simple as saying I want to donate something to the Cherokee Nation. There's a process. And that process, of course, is because anytime you receive a donation, there's also a responsibility that comes with any donation. And could you speak to that?
Well, it does go through the Office of Financial Resources, and anyone can call me. Jennifer Daniels is actually the one that handles all of that. But if they will just call Financial Resources, we will get them the paperwork that they need to have filled out. We usually have them appraise whatever it is prior to coming to us, just so we know what to put it on our books at and that it's a fair, independent appraisal. And I will speak to that just a little bit. It is really neat to see people. I've seen some donations of art and different things, and a lot of times it is people that are either downsizing and they've got this collection that they've built up through the years and they want to be sure that it's somewhere that it will be appreciated. And so if it is particularly Cherokee artists or people that are affiliated with our tribe, they want to donate it back to the tribe. And so that's really neat to see that they've enjoyed it all these years and now they're wanting to make sure that it has an appropriate home.
Thank you. Anybody else? I guess that just means go back to work.
Okay, and as I tell you every time, you've all got my number. Don't be a stranger. I'm glad to help anytime.
Thank you. All right, I understand Mr. Hunter Palmer will be playing the role of Diane Kelly today.
Well, good afternoon, Chairman and the council. My name is Hunter Palmer. I'm the Director of Economic Development for Cherokee Nation Career Services, filling in for Diane. You guys have our report, and I will answer any questions to that, but I wanted to make a couple adjustments to it. We've completed 2 of our job fairs over the past few weeks. We made the determination to reschedule the Asylum Springs job fair that was scheduled for today, and also the Catoosa job fair, June 9th. So we're going to reschedule those events. Our next job fair will be next Thursday in Sallisaw at ICTC, so we hope to get information out there to our constituents in the Sequoyah County, Adair County, and Muskogee County to try to get in as many Cherokee citizens that are looking for employment, job opportunities there. Just from last week, Thursday, we had over 250 people come through our job fair in Tahlequah. It was a great success. We're excited for it to be able to offer those employment opportunities to our Cherokee citizens and the people in our community that are looking for work and want to get back to work. Also, another couple updates is we have ramped up all of our Talking Leaf Job Corps recruitment. We're looking for students all across Northeast Oklahoma, Cherokee citizens, 16 to 24, out-of-school youth, anybody that want to complete their GED, high school diploma, and get a skill set at the same time. The Job Corps team also works to transition them into job placement after they complete. So if you guys have anybody that you would like to refer to us, send them our way. I have placed about 3 different flyers on the back table back here from the upcoming job fair to Job Corps recruitment. Diane also wanted me to mention that we are still planning for the construction fairs for Taro and for all the construction projects that's going to be coming up. So hopefully we'll have details finalized soon. That way we can get those out to the council. Other than that, I'd answer any questions you guys have or take those back to Diane.
Does anybody have questions for Hunter or Diane? Yes, Counselor Teehee.
Well, thank you for joining us this afternoon, Hunter. I appreciate you stepping in for Ms. Kelly. The reports that come from Career Services are always outstanding. They're very personalized. I did have a question about individual citizens who are entering the workforce and who might need some specialized equipment. Is that something that Career Services assists with, and who should we direct those folks to?
Yes, for sure. That is something that we definitely do assist with. Anybody that's transitioning into the workplace that has a need for uniforms or tools or any kind of specialized work boots or anything like that, we can definitely help them out. They can contact any of our Career Services office and get assistance with that.
Okay. And so just kind of those generalized equipment needs, and those Career Services counselors, do they have to meet specific criteria to access that service, or, income guidelines, anything like that?
We do have specific guidelines for various programs, so each individual we look at and evaluate where they live, what their current employment status is. At this time, we do have a number of programs that we could look at getting people approved through, including some of our ARPA-funded programs. We have our tribal-funded programs that we can look at. Every individual's situation is different, so we typically evaluate that to see what program will be best for them. We also have, federal grants and federal Department of Labor grants that we can look at as well using those funds.
Okay. So it sounds like there's a lot of potential for help for individuals who are entering the workforce or maybe changing positions to kind of get those specialized equipment or uniform needs that they have met. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the time, Chair.
Certainly. Any other? I want to share with you, I was visiting with a family that lives in my district this week, the mother of the family, and she was telling me about her son being a high school student who didn't thrive in the school environment, just barely got through, struggled all of his days while he was in the classroom. And we all know this story, but people who are extraordinarily bright, extraordinarily talented, but just that is not the environment where they thrive. And he got out of high school, struggled for a year or two, 3 years, and about a year and a half ago, he went to our lineman training program. And our lineman training program has taken him from, in a very short period of time, from a young man who had no idea how he was going to earn a living or what he wanted to do with his future, to a young man who is earning more than his mother has ever earned, she says, proudly. And that he is today extraordinarily proud because at the age of 22, he's earning more than all of his college friends are earning. And he knows that he's in an industry that will need his services for as long as he wishes to work in that industry. And it's a burgeoning need in America. And so to see, first of all, this was in Owasso, one of the most, highest income areas of the Cherokee Nation. And to see this family, how this has affected that family, that program has affected that family that much, it really makes you proud to know that we have that available for him. That's what our tribe should be doing, is lifting up and embracing those who are working to make themselves better.
Thank you, Chairman. That's definitely one of our programs that we're very proud of. We've put a lot of work into developing that program. We've got some wonderful partnerships that have helped us with this. These guys are definitely getting some advanced training, and at the end of the training, they are very highly competitive in the workforce. And anybody that wants a job after coming out of this program will be able to get a job. And that's, you can't say that about a lot of programs, but that's definitely one of them that we say we're very proud of, and we're always recruiting for that program and trying to get people through there. So we appreciate those words, and thank you for that.
You bet. Anything else? All right, thank you, Hunter. All right, Miss Anna Knight.
Good afternoon. Hunter told me he was going to be faster than Diane, but I'm not too sure about that. You do have a copy of our report. I just wanted to point out that the income tax assistance numbers on page 2 are fairly final. So we were still about the average, helping people recapture 2.7 million in tax returns. A little over 2,000 people. Next year, we are working to try to expand and provide more of it in some of the outer areas, because these VITA programs are closing down left and right. There's just not very many people that do this anymore, not with the free online tax filing. But I will say the majority of our clients are elderly, and they are never going to file online. So other than that comment, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Anybody? Any questions? Well, thank you for the good work you're doing.
All right, thanks.
All right. So that brings us to the consent items. You all have had the opportunity to review and look through. If you've got any concerns, now would be the time to speak. If not, I would say that we have approved those by consent. All right. Nobody had any questions, Jody? Sorry. I hope it doesn't hurt your feelings. Okay. Well, then, that takes us to our business item number 1. And Josh, Sam, would you enter that?
This is an act amending Legislative Act Number 44-21, authorizing the comprehensive operating budget for fiscal year 2022, Mod 8, and declaring an emergency. I put that in the form of a motion.
Is there a second? All right, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? No questions. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. All right. That brings us to announcements. I do want to acknowledge that former chief of the UKB, Dallas Proctor, passed away a few days ago, and it's very appropriate that we keep him in his family in our prayers and thoughts, and that we keep the UKB people in our prayers and thoughts as they say goodbye to one of their leaders. Anybody else? Yes, Mr. Smith.
Yes, earlier, Darrell, Councilman Legg, he talked about the gathering Saturday down at Bellefonte. So Saturday, after you go to that, you can come to Vian. We're going to have a powwow. The gore dances start at 2. The grand entry will be at 8. It'll be on the Vian football field. And if it rains, it'll be in the gym. And that's this Saturday.
Excellent,
so
thank you.
come see us.
Anybody else? All right, I'd entertain one more motion. Second? Say aye. Aye. All right.